clients resist you when you want them to do inspections and they reject it and you don't know what to do? All right, I'm going to talk about a little story here of how I handle this, and I'm going to encourage you to follow the same process. So, in the state of North Carolina, we have a professional services disclosure where you write down all the different inspections that you could do, and you can even add some ones that are not on there. And I add different ones depending on the circumstance. And I tell my clients when I'm first meeting with them as a buyer that, my inspections are probably going to cost you anywhere from $2,000 to $3,000 as far as my recommendations. And the reason that I'm going to be so strong about that, however, you're the boss, you get to make all the decisions, is because you're going to have a benchmark of where your house is at that point. You're going to know all the different issues that are going on. We can hopefully negotiate with the seller and try and get some of that fixed or get money to have it done ourselves. But if we don't, that now becomes your problem because you just bought the house with the problem that you didn't want to figure out was there. Rascals. So anyway, here's a story of my son. His gal calls me yesterday and says, "Hey, do you have a copy of the survey for the house?" And I'm going, "You sure you don't have it? Because I'm pretty strong on that." I said, but I'm flashing back thinking, my son resisted me on a lot of stuff. Some I really pushed for, and I may have caved on some other, but I made him sign the waiver on that. I'm sure I did. So anyway, I said, "When did you buy the house?" She goes, 2016. This is 2025. I'm like, "Oh, that's a long time to keep records." And I know we're not legally required. And I usually go through and delete mine after the 7-year point. So we were there. So I went through my files and I even went into the MLS. I looked to see, because a lot of times you can upload different documents in there. And if people have a survey and they're willing to share it, they will. Now, if they shared their survey, that doesn't mean that things didn't change. So I still want a new survey, even if they would have provided one, because they could have done some things or their neighbors could have done some things that affected the property lines. That's why I insist on it. Well, my son is in the process now of putting in a new fence, a badly needed fence. He lives in an HOA. They require a survey before they will approve a new fence. And I'm thinking, boy, that survey would have cost them around $350 back then. Now it's probably going to cost between $550. And so, but I'm going to do my best to see. So I go through all my emails back then, all my files, and I even had a different email address. I go to that whole thing, all that data, and nothing in there. I deleted those files back then. Then I thought, wow, what about the office? Because I'm on a team. I called our office manager and I said, "Hey, Amy, do we have any files back on this house? Here's the address back from 2016. About an hour or so later, she got back with me and she goes, "No, got nothing." I go, "Oof, shoot." So that's a reality. We've got nothing. I said, "Hey, Jess, take a peek in your files just to double check because it would have been with all the paperwork for the house." Well, obviously she didn't have it. So no, she doesn't. I said, "Shoot, girl, I'm going to get you a guy who will come out and do the survey, but here's the price point." And she goes, "Ugh." So that was not a happy day. So that's why you've got to be so strict. Now, let me tell you about how I do my inspections with my buyers. When we meet, we're having a beginner's buyer sit down where you're kind of going through the whole deal. And I'm interviewing them, they're interviewing me typically, unless it's a referral. But I still want them to know how I work. So I'm going to tell them, how we'll look at homes, what I'm going to expect from them. I want them to tell me what they're looking for from me because this is a team effort here. I want them to trust me that because I've done this, I know what I'm talking about, and I want them to see me as their guide. They still get to make all the decisions. And so when I go through that professional services disclosure, I'm listing all the inspections that I want done on that house. I remember at his, we had chimney. I wanted a chimney sweep to check that out. Now, this was a relocation house that was being sold. So they'd already done all kinds of inspections on the house and gave it to us. And my son even said, "Are you sure we need to do inspections? They've already done them all." I said, "That's their inspector. I want my inspector. And he's working for the seller. He's not working for you. So let's go have somebody else in and see if we come up with some things. I'm concerned about that fireplace bothered me. I saw different things on the siding that was a concern, and it was not on their list. So I already didn't trust their inspector. So we went through and I wanted the home inspection done. I always wanted a roof inspection because the roof, if the home inspector who does do the roof inspection is just doing a cursory inspection, that's not enough for me because roofs are a big price point if you're going to have a problem. So I wanted that done. The home inspector also does the HVAC. And I said, no, I want a specialist to come in and do it, check it all out and give us the stuff, unless it's been serviced. And if it's been serviced on a regular basis, I'd like to see those receipts. So I'll decide. And so anyway, I had all those things done. We found lots of problems with the chimney. And my point is, I would have definitely asked my son to do a survey. Now he could have waived that. He could have just rationalized, no, the fence is already there. I'm not doing it. I'm not going to worry about it. Now the fence wasn't as bad condition as it is today. And that's the problem. He needs to replace that fence. And I think he's going to be doing it probably on 4 sides, maybe not, because there's, neighbors, it's in a community. So of course, now maybe he can get some help with his neighbors to offset the cost. Maybe not. They don't have to, right? So the point of it is, agents, I'm going to teach you from years of experience because I've had to pay for some things because I made some mistakes by not having these, suggesting these and not getting that signed. So that's part of another reason why I do it. I want to protect myself, my insurances, but mostly I want to protect my clients. But I do let them know you're the boss, but you're going to sign a waiver on that. It's going to say that you waived it. I really wish I had that so I could show that rascal. He's probably going to watch this and say, what the heck, Mom? That's okay. It's okay, Mike. We all make mistakes. Mom makes them too. Anyway, I just want to really, my whole agenda with these videos is to give some sage advice. So, because a lot of times agents aren't getting just the nitty gritty of how to do the business out there from their offices. And some of this is just the nitty gritty. So I hope you like it. And we'll stay tuned for more. Subscribe below and spread it with your friends. And if you're a realtor, please join my Real Estate Riches Collective. That is a Facebook group for agents that I'm really inviting in who do want to collaborate, who have questions like, hey, what do I do with this? I'm looking for you to join that group. Give content, no drama, not looking for that. No recruiting in here. This is strictly educational. And I've already got tons of good stuff in there. That link will be below, so I hope you check it out. And feel free to ask questions in here because that's how it really helps my algorithm. So do it. Come on. See you on the next one.